Alright, peace, 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 peace. So this will be your reading. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Alright, so there will be two more sections following this session, you feel what I'm saying? And so today we're just gonna look at where your placements are, you feel me? And we'll be discussing like um where your placements are, but from a more detailed perspective, you feel me? We'll look at like the deacons, which you have like your planets in, and then we'll look at what that means, and then we'll look at like the strength, the strength and the weakness of those signs. You feel what I'm saying? In those placements, and then in the upfollowing sessions, we'll just dive deeper into the details. Alright, so without further ado, let's begin. So we're gonna start with your sun today. You feel what I'm saying? And so first and foremost, you have your sun in Aries and the deacon of activity and the triangulum constellation. You feel what I'm saying? So as we are going through this reading, I will be talking about, as I'm talking about the deacons, let me explain what a deacon is in case you don't know what it is. So within the stars, right, there are constellations, right? That like the Aries constellation. Within the Aries constellation, there are miniature constellations within the Aries constellation. You feel what I'm saying? And the primary ones within the Aries constellation are the triangulum constellation, Poseidon. Poseidon. I think his name is Poseidon. Never mind, I don't even have to, I'm kind of wasting time because I don't think it's relevant for you to know this. But yeah, so it's in the, but yeah, anyways, I bring that up to bring up the fact that there are constellations within the constellations, you feel me? And so we'll be looking at specifically where you have your planet in what constellation. It's like, sure, you have your sun in Aries, but it's in the deacon of activity, which is signified by triangulum. And so ultimately this is a triangle, right? The triangulum constellation is a triangle, right? It's an upward facing triangle, and it signifies like the spiritual aspect of Aries. You feel what I'm saying? Like if when it's pointing upwards, it's spirituality, you feel me? When it's triangle is pointing downwards, it's matter. But anyways, so whatchamacallit, Aries, first and foremost, is a sign whose dominion is specifically meant in the mental realm. You feel me? But being ruled by Mars, of course, they have this like drive, this fire within them. You know, this desire to want to dominate and overcome. You feel what I'm saying? Hold on, I'm trying to like fix the lighting. I hope that the lighting is okay. It's better now, but earlier it was trash. So yeah, you know, it's a sign that deals with the mind, and it deals very much with like more of like spirit and the intangible energies. And to expand this awareness, like, so Aries is the first sign, you feel what I'm saying, but Pisces is the last sign. Now Aries being the first sign, it deals with emanation, right? To come forth, to manifest into existence. And thus Aries is also a sign that deals very well with like inventiveness and creativity. You feel me? Like Aries very much is a sign that's not meant to lead, my bad, not meant to follow, right? It's meant to lead others. And it's like, yeah, it's meant to lead others, you feel what I'm saying? And so in that energy of leading, like, it does have to also be a pioneer, you feel me? And so to dive deeper into what I'm saying here, like you have your sun, you have your sun in the 9th house, you feel what I'm saying? And so like with your sun being in the 9th house, hold on. Yeah, okay, like with your sun being in the 9th house, you feel me? Okay, so with your sun being in the ninth house, this is an indication that the area in which you are most active in and most focused in is like your beliefs and your spirit, like your spirituality and like your perspectives. So like the ninth house is ultimately the house that deals with religion. It deals with long distance traveling, but it also, like long distance traveling, it's like intangible traveling as well. So meaning like traveling into the mind and going places through meditation, things like that. You feel what I'm saying? That's very much the ninth house energy. But like the ninth house is just a philosophical sign that produces this desire to want to dive deep. You feel me? And then this desire to want to dive deep and just explore like the deeper aspects behind life. You know, the reasonings behind life. And then when it comes to Aries is a sign, you feel me, that does deal with like curiosity as well. It's a very curious sign. It's also a very ambitious sign. And like when an Aries finds way into like the dominion of like philosophy, I feel like they do very well here. You feel what I'm saying? They do very well here because I feel like as an Aries already naturally they have a desire to want to be stimulated, you know. Aries is a sign that's also known to be like pretty impulsive, you feel what I'm saying? And this is because they do need that activity, you feel me, that activity. And so like from the more physical standpoint, because I also want to bring this up, both fire and water, you feel me, these are like yin elements, but like in the yin realm, like the fire is like the masculine expression of the yin, it's the external expression of the yin energy, and then water is the yang, my bad, fire is the yang of the yin, and then water is the yin of the yin, you feel me. Water deals with those internal emotions that we keep within, you feel me, and things like that, and all, yeah, things like that. But then Aries, not Aries, but the fire element deals with expressing the emotions, like animating emotion and then putting them outwardly, you feel me. So it's like water signs are more focused inwardly, and they put like their motives into building something more, or rather I should say they put all their energy inwardly, but then like the fire signs, they more put their energies outwardly, you feel me. And Aries is a type of sign that we already talked about how it likes to be the boss, right, and things like that, but it's a type of sign that doesn't get influenced by like its environment or the people in it as much, but it more so has a desiring to like influence and imprint its own will onto others, you feel what I'm saying. And that is a negative attribute of Aries, that tendency of like kind of enforcing their will on another person, you feel me, where it's like because sometimes an Aries may think that their way is better, or like they just know how to do it, and so they might show someone how to do it when that person didn't want them to show them how to do it, you feel me. So like from that angle conflict can arise. Also, yeah, like being an extroverted sign, you know, but then on top of that being ruled by Mars, the planet of aggression, you feel me. I feel like you this portrays an indication that you and of yourself, hold on, I don't want to use the word aggressive, more like you and of yourself are animated, you feel me. Like there's some people that are like a Virgo, for example, right, they're very kept to themselves and observant, but then in Aries is more in the mix, you know, they're in the field and they're like they're in the field and they're in the mix and they're like enjoying life, you feel me. It's because Aries is also a very like daring sign, you feel me. They're very much risk takers, you feel me. They're not afraid to like get out of the comfort zone, right? They like to explore, indeed. But yeah, you know, ultimately, like the energy of Aries deals with the self. It's the I am, you know. it deals with the ego. It deals with it deals with the self, as I've said. And so when the sun goes into Aries, the sun is exalted. You feel me? And the sun, it deals with one's expression. You feel me? How one expresses themselves, what one wants to be seen for, and all those things. So Aries is an individual who has a desire to want to take leaderal positions. You feel me? And it's like, yeah, they're not afraid or shy to be leaders. They're not afraid to be leaders. You feel me? And a lot of the times you naturally just attract leaderal positions to you. But like, that's in a nutshell what the Aries energy is all about. You feel me? It's all about pioneering and like being the way shower for others. You feel me? Like, Aries is also the first sign, right? And this is of great significance, being the first sign. You feel me? And being in spring, like, typically Aries are pretty fruitful. You feel me? Very yielding, right? But that just goes back to like their ambitiousness and their if they want something, they're going out and getting it. You feel what I'm saying? So like, Aries has I think I already talked about its will, right? But I think we should talk a little bit about Mars. You feel me? Like, you have your sun and Mars in a Mars sign, but then your moon in Capricorn. So like, strife is definitely a great theme manifested within the life. You know, strife is something that within your chart is shown that you've had to overcome and go through. And when I say strife, I mean like hardships and obstacles. You feel me? Because Saturn is the planet that deals with restrictions and limitations, but then like Mars is the planet that deals with strife. It deals with like strife, right? Persisting and not giving up, continue to go on regardless of the things that are taking place. You feel what I'm saying? Okay, so hold on, let me move this back a little. Alright, yeah, that should be better. I should have done that earlier. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, as I was saying, you feel me, that's Mars. It's the planet of strife. It deals with and being ambitious, not giving up. You feel me? Being strong-willed and like focused and determined. I think like Virgo is Aries is a very determined sign. You feel me? But like, there really isn't much to say about Aries, but the fact that it's a leader. It deals with going into the unknown. Aries, a lot of the time, is also utilized as a conduit to bring in new energy into this world. You feel me? Being of Mars, like, because it does take a lot of power and strength to you feel me, change the world like that. You feel me? But like, that's what Aries is. It definitely is a force of nature, you feel me, to be reckoned with. But that's what that's like, there's really not that much to say about Aries. And now so it's in the sun, right? So the sun deals with the ego, it deals with the expression, it deals with what one identifies with, you feel me, and all these other different things. And so with your sun being here, you have a good sense of self. You feel me? You're not afraid to express yourself, to talk. You feel me? Like with the Mercury also being in Aries, you do very much have the gift of gab. You feel me? And you can be like a disruptive person, like a disruptive, loud person. But hold on. It's like you can be, but like with that moon in Capricorn, you're probably not, because the Capricorn energy, okay, is a more reserved, more military-like vibe. You feel me? It's more serious, and it's more grounded, and it's more about like business, for lack of a better term. You feel me? It's all about getting down to the business of things, and not being there to play. You feel me? Like, Capricorns need to learn how to balance like work and play. You feel me? Like their work life and their quote-unquote play life, because Capricorn can a lot of the time be too business, too serious, and thus ungrounded in reality. But I bring that up because I feel like being loud and being impulsive and being all over the place, you feel me, like making a mess of oneself, making a fool of oneself, is more like a lower attribute of the Aries sign. So Aries doesn't care, you feel me, like it does not care. But you care because like you have that ascendant in Cancer, So this energy is like bittersweet, you feel me? You're like a really, really sweet and loving and cool person, right? But then at the same time, you can be mean and you can be cold and you can cut people off, you feel me? But it's like those people that get into like your small circle of friends, you feel me? They benefit from your kindness. But anyways, yeah, that's the sun. It deals with what one is expressing, the ego, the self. But also the sun deals with like, because it deals with what one is focusing on, it deals with the purpose, you feel me? Like the purpose in the sense that what it is that the soul is investing the most energy on in this lifetime. So with the sun being in Aries, right, you're here to be a leader of some sort, and like the religious arena of life. And when I say religious, I'm generalizing, you feel what I'm saying? And everything that just deals with spirituality and beliefs and perception and like the bigger picture and like magic and all these things, you feel me, are very much in tune with you, you feel what I'm saying, with that ninth house energy. Like, yeah, like sun and Aries in the ninth house. So the ninth house is the house that deals with teaching as well. So you'd be a great teacher, you know, and yeah, people will listen to you if you had information you wanted to bring. You feel me? It's like there are different types of people, right? And all of us have our planets in a specific place, and it's like according to what placements we have, we would naturally flow in that thing. So a lot of the times we find ourselves attracted to that quote unquote thing. You feel what I'm saying? And so for you, that thing is the department of religion, the department that deals with like dealing with beliefs and life and reality, you feel me? And like, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Beliefs, you feel me? So it's like the more you can learn how to tap into like your mind, and I say the more you can learn how to, but with the moon being your chart ruler, you are I think they would call it a bruja, or I don't know if you like the word witch, but it's like, because that's what the moon deals with. It kind of in a sense rules brujas and medicine people and witches, like the moon and Mercury and Mercury, of course, because Mercury is associated with that too. But anyways, yeah, that's the sun, you feel me? Sun in Aries in the ninth house, meant to rise up in the department of like life, dealing with the religions, philosophy, you feel me? So you're meant to be I don't want to use the hero, even though Aries is very much a hero energy, because well, so yeah, because the sun, it deals with the ego, and it deals with like the individual in this life, and like how they will move around in this life. Like, will life overtake them, or will they overtake life? Like, that's what the sun is. The sun is how you're impressing yourself on life, you feel what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's ultimately it, you feel me? And you need to impress, or you are impressing life in the department of life that you're impressing life the most, in the department of life that deals with religion and philosophy. So it's also important for you to become very clear on your beliefs and your religion and your philosophy, you feel me? That you would benefit from that tremendously, you feel me? Because that area of life is already very vitalized. But yeah, okay, so now let's move on to your moon. So your moon is in Capricorn, okay, and it's in what decan is it in? I think it's in the decan of organization, if I'm not mistaken. I'm surprised. Yeah, hold on, give me a sec, please. Okay, yeah. So yeah, it definitely is in the decan of. It's in the decan of organization within the constellation of Cygnus, you feel what I'm saying? So, okay, so Capricorn. When the moon goes into Capricorn and you have 0 degrees, your moon is 0 degrees Capricorn, by the way. Alright, so anyways, when the moon goes into Capricorn, you feel me, what does this mean? So you probably know a little bit, maybe, about the moon. So moon in Capricorn, the moon is debilitated in Capricorn, it doesn't do well in Capricorn. It struggles, doing its job. You feel what I'm saying? When it goes into Capricorn. So the moon, it deals with your reactions and responses. You feel me? The moon deals with your emotions. It deals with your inner world. It deals with the domestic life, the family life. You feel me? Those aspects of life that are very touchy and emotionally. You feel what I'm saying? And so like with you having moon in Capricorn, this indicates that there was an attack, for lack of a better word. You feel me? There was an attack, and the Department of Life dealing with, like, I think attack is a negative or misleading term. More like, okay, so Capricorn is a sign that ultimately deals with karma. You feel me? Because it's ruled by Saturn, the planet of karma. So with the moon being in Capricorn here, it's an indication that there is karma, that we can say that you're dealing with when it comes to like the Department of Family and the Department of like the Department of Emotions in general. You feel me? Because like when you think about it, family is there to like teach you how to associate and connect with others, right? With your loved ones, right? But then like you in of yourself, your emotional intelligence is reflective to how well you can connect with you. You feel me? Like the more emotionally intelligent you are, the more connected to self you are. The less emotionally intelligent you are, the less connected to self you are. And yeah, let me pause myself real quick because I'm remembering that you have your sun in Cancer. So okay. So the moon in Capricorn in the 6th house. So like I said, the moon ultimately deals with what you act and respond to, but it deals with all these other things too, like family and like the domestic life in general. But in its nutshell, it's what you're reacting and responding to. So with you having your moon, right, you feel me, in what's that sign? In Capricorn. In the 6th house, first and foremost, you're a person who, you may be emotionally like reserved. You feel me? Like, yeah, emotionally reserved and not so emotionally touchy. Hold on. Before we talk about your moon in Capricorn, I kind of want to touch on like your ascendant in Cancer. You feel me? Because Capricorn and Cancer are opposite signs, and they kind of counteract each other. You feel me? Capricorn is in feeling, and then Cancer is all the way feely. Alright. So let's see what this is. What it's hitting for. Okay, so yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, yeah. So moon, like with your moon being in Capricorn here, this is type of energy where it's like the moon is supposed to be how you nurture others, how you love others, and like how you how you connect emotionally with others. You feel what I'm saying? But like moon in Capricorn, the moon also reflects the mother. You feel me? It's an indication that like you and your mom's relationship might not have been like tight like that. You feel me? Like you may have had upbringings. You feel what I'm saying? Where you were exposed to like the cold aspect of like family. You feel me? Where it's like you just want love, like the way that you want it to be loved. Like with the moon, like that, like with the moon in Capricorn, that's what it indicates. Like this energy where it's like a lot of moon in Capricorn individuals, like their background story, like childhood. You feel me? It's always like some trauma. It's traumatic. You feel what I'm saying? And then like moon and Capricorn individuals need shadow work, and they need healing, and they need to go inside, you feel me, and look at themselves. Because like with the moon in Capricorn, like emotional constipation can even take place. You feel me? Because Capricorn, an earth sign, you feel me, doesn't deal with emotions. It doesn't understand the value and the significance of emotions. So it has a tendency of pushing the emotions to the side, you feel me, and putting them I'll leave it at that, putting them to the side. You feel what I'm saying? And so like congestion can happen, where the same thing that Scorpios do, where they lash out at the wrong person, a Capricorn can do as well. You know, and I do sense that you're a pretty evolved individual, so this probably isn't you, but this is just something to be aware of, like the emotional constipation aspect of things, and thus releasing abruptly when it's unnecessary. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, but like the moon in Capricorn, I feel like it does make it hard for people to like just sit with their emotions. Okay, yeah, like just sit with their emotions, you feel me, and be present with their emotions, and be touchy and sensitive without feeling like they're doing something weird, you know, if that makes sense, because Capricorn, it deals with like, it deals with restrictions, limitations, discipline, you feel me, like tough love and all of that. So yeah, like people with their moon in Capricorn, like it can even portray in a sense where like they may kind of have this military way of like raising their children, or they may have been raised under military conditions and circumstances. And when I say that, I just mean like, you feel me, like not being loved for who you are, but being loved for what you do, you feel me. Like the moon being an earth sign, my bad, Capricorn being an earth sign, it's very materialistic and of this world, you feel me. And so with your moon being in Capricorn in the 6th house though, you do bring a lot of reaction and response to like this world as well, and like your resources, and making sure that you are in the best position you can be, and that you're utilizing the resources you have around you to the fullest of your advantage, is what I'm saying. Because that's what ultimately Capricorn is all about. Capricorn is all about utilizing the opportunities present within your reality to your fullest advantage, you feel me? Now, if we're to talk about positives and negatives, like positively, Capricorn expresses through diplomacy, you know, they can be very diplomatic, but negatively, Capricorn can be very deceptive, you feel me? But yeah, it is also a very ambitious sign. So both Capricorn and Aries are ambitious signs, you feel me? They have a desire to overcome obstacles, you feel me? And like, because both Aries and Capricorn, they are faced with obstacles and challenges, you feel me? So with you both having both Aries and Capricorn, you probably were swamped with a lot of obstacles and challenges, you feel me, which you had to overcome. But it's like, these energies, they don't just want to overcome their obstacles and their challenges, but they want to rise above them, you feel me, to a point where it's a night and day difference between the life they used to live and the life they live today. It's a very ambitious sign, you feel me, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, they're also, Moon and Capricorn individuals are pretty practical and pretty grounded into reality, you know, and they have an ability to operate in this world. What I mean is, certain signs, they're more tuned into like channels outside of this world, then other signs are more tuned into this world, and they know how to move around in this world. But yeah, sorry, I ran out of space, so the video cut off. But yeah, so as I was saying, you feel me, like that's pretty much the moon and Capricorn energy, you feel me. It's very focused around like the material world, you feel me, and being materially grounded, but also making sure that they're fixed, not fixed, but they're in a good place. They're stable, grounded is what I mean, you feel me, physically speaking. And then the 6th house is a house that deals with work. It deals with labor, you feel me. It also deals with health, but it deals with routines of all forms, you feel what I'm saying. So with your moon being in the 6th house, health becomes something that's of great importance to you, you feel me. You're either a health conscious person, or more likely with you know, moon being in the 6th house, you've had health obstacles and challenges that were actually sent your way to like help you learn how to become a healer. You feel what I'm saying? Because when the moon goes into the 6th house in Capricorn, well, just in the 6th house, when the moon goes into the 6th house, this does produce for a very healing type of energy. You feel me? A person who is a healer. So the 6th house, I also want to mention this, deals with the common people. When I say common people, I mean the people, you know, of the world around. And so with your moon being in the 6th house, it's an indication that you are meant to work with the people. You feel what I'm saying? Work with the people. If that makes sense. So yeah. But ultimately the 6th house just deals with health, but also deals with work. You feel me? So that's probably something, not probably something, but with the moon being here, you react and respond a lot to work, a lot to like your status, you feel me, a lot to like your health, you know, things like that. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, that's the moon. Alright, so now let's get into like your Mercury. Okay, so let's see where your Mercury is. So you have your Mercury, and your Mercury is also in Aries, right, in the triangle decan of activity. You feel what I'm saying? In the 9th house. So Mercury is the planet that deals with the intellectual mind. You feel me? It deals with your processing ability, how you process information. You feel what I'm saying? And so both the moon and Mercury deal with the mind. So the moon deals with the subconscious mind, you know, the emotional, the irrational mind. And we already said that even emotionally, you're a pretty practical person. You feel me? And this can portray as unemotionality, but unemotionality. I don't know, like. So like the 1st house, it deals with like the department of your life. You feel me? And so with your being in Cancer, it's an indication that you go through a lot of in your personal life, a lot of experiences that are of an emotional nature, that deal with family. You feel me? And that deal with like just being sensitive and like touchy. You feel me? Like that's the moon in Aries. My bad, moon in Cancer. These are people that are very inclined towards like mothering others, nurturing and taking care of others. But then it's like for you, like with your moon in Capricorn, it's like that energy, you may not attract it, you know, and it may not be like, yeah, like you may not attract it, but it's like just like being nurtured, you know, like even though you may nurture others, like you may not always attract being nurtured. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. You feel what I'm saying? Moon in Cancer. Okay. Yeah, but anyways, so that's, yeah, the moon is the logical, the irrational, emotional mind. But then the sun is, my bad, but then Mercury is the logical mind. It deals with your perception of the world. You know, it deals with logic, rationality. You feel me? How you think. And so one thing to understand about the moon is that the moon, my bad, not the moon. Oh yeah, Mercury, not the moon, Mercury. Mercury, it rules the nervous system, you feel me? And so when it comes to our nervous system, right, we have nerves that are focused outwardly, that pick up in internal senses, but the nerves that are focused inwardly, you feel me, that help us express out into the world, you feel me? So it's like we have reception and like release, for lack of receiving and giving, emitting, you feel me? We receive, but we also emit, if that makes sense. And so Mercury deals with how we receive the world, but also how we emit into the world, but from a more mental perspective. So it's communication, logic, rationality. You feel what I'm saying? And so with you having your Mercury in the 9th house in Aries, so we talked about how Aries is a mental sign, you feel me? And it deals with mental dominion, you feel me? Having dominion over the mind. So when Mercury goes into Aries, its processing ability becomes superior, you feel what I'm saying? In the sense that people with their Mercury tend to think at speeds that a lot of people aren't able to keep up with, you feel me? Mercury is a very quick sign. It's fire that's likened to burning gas. Is it fire that's likened to burning gas? Yeah, it's fire that's likened to burning gas. You feel me? So it's very quick. Very quick. And so yeah, these are individuals as well who are like passionate about, like when they speak, you feel me, you can feel that energy, that presence, you feel what I'm saying? Like they speak with enthusiasm. I think that's the best way to put it. They speak with enthusiasm and passion, you feel me? So with you having your sun in Aries, you have an ability to speak in an inspirative way, you feel me, to speak in a manner that inspires others, you feel me? And that reminds me, like, these are things that are associated with Aries as well, an ability to inspire another person and build enthusiasm into others, you feel me? And it does, that's what it takes to be a leader though, you feel me, at the end of the day. But yeah, so that's the Mercury in Aries. So these are individuals that are also very keen and interested in exploring and discovering, you feel me, like the different departments of life. My bad, not the different departments of life, but just, yeah, the different departments of life. But like with you having your Mercury, you feel me, being hold on, give me a sec. Yeah, but like with you having your Mercury being in Aries, sorry, I kind of fucking, I lost my train of thought. Hold on, let me think. As I was saying though, um, yeah, not departments of life, but you have Mercury in the ninth house. So honestly, there's really not much to say here because we already talked a lot about Mercury when we were talking about your sun. You feel me? So Mercury being here as well, it just expands the energy of the sun. You feel me? And so it also makes you a thought leader. You feel me? Someone who when I say thought leader, I mean like, because we discussed how Aries, right, first and foremost belongs to the spring, right? Its season is in spring, and how it's already a sign that's very fruitful and yielding. And so it's of great significance for you to not even of great significance for you, but like with this Aries energy, a lot of the times you just naturally become a person who's like aware and a person who knows, you feel me? Because Aries Aries also deals with like emanation. And I want to say this is like intuition as well. You feel me? And if I'm not mistaken, the first, not the first, but like the first deacon of Capricorn, which you have your moon in, that's a deacon of Capricorn. That's like associated with the Pisces constellation. You feel me? It's like Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. You feel me? These four signs, they're like the last signs, you feel me? And so they're like pretty close together, if this makes sense. And because they're close together, especially Capricorn and Pisces, like the stars there, they intertwine each other, if that makes sense. Now, I also want to mention this, like Saturn, right? Saturn rules Capricorn, and Saturn is the planet that deals with like death, you feel me? And so Pisces is a sign, you feel me, that deals with like the spirit realm and like disembodied spirits, you feel me, and all that stuff. So in this decan of Capricorn, where Pisces is associated, a lot of these people are naturally attuned to like the spirit world, you feel me, but also like to things like communicating with the dead and things like that, you feel me. And it's interesting as well because I had a feeling that like your moon being in Capricorn contributed and added to like your witchy vibes, for lack of a better term, because Saturn is a planet, you feel me, that's associated with like the occult arts, you feel me, things like magic, witchcraft, things like that, you feel me. So that's very much Saturn. So yeah, I guess it's something that you probably might have wanted to know about, because Mercury also deals, my bad, Mercury in Earth's Aries also deals with the inspiration of new thoughts and new ideas, you feel me. And this can even be like you having a tendency of sparking thoughts within others, you feel me. But anyways, that's your Mercury in the ninth house. So we talked about the ninth house earlier. We discussed how it's a house that deals with like philosophy. So And so with Mercury being the planet of communication, and you having Mercury in Aries in the ninth house, like Aries is also a sign, you feel me, because it deals with the individual. um a lot of Aries tend to be more inclined towards like business, you feel me. And so any department of business where you're dealing with information, um not information, where you're teaching people, you feel me, would be of great value to you. I don't know what you do, but I know that you're an entrepreneur as well, like myself, you feel what I'm saying. But yeah, there's very much the Aries energy. um all right, now let's look at your Venus. Let's look at your Venus. So you also have your Venus in Aries. So you have what we would call a stellium. You feel what I'm saying? You have a stellium in your ninth house. So a stellium is when more than like three or more planets are in a sign. You feel me? So and in this case you have Venus in Aries. You feel what I'm saying? Um, Mercury in Aries and the Sun in Aries. So those are the three planets. So when a stellium takes place, there is a lot of activity that takes place. You feel me? In that department of life. So for you, in your department of life that deals with your religion, you feel me? And I talked about how I use the word religion, but just to generalize everything that deals with spirituality and all this other stuff. You feel me? So that department of life is of great significance to you. That department of life that deals with the higher mind. You feel me? Like the higher mind is associated with Sagittarius more than the ninth house, but the ninth house in Sagittarius, they rule. I mean, the ninth house is ruled by Sagittarius. So yeah, it is the house of the higher mind as well. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, that department of like the higher mind, of like wanting to, not even wanting to, but being aware of life beyond the physical. You feel me? Like fire also burns through reality, in the sense that reality is the physical world we exist in, but then fire will burn through that. You feel what I'm saying? And so what this means, this inclination right here, is that like as in Aries, not as in Aries, but as an not as in Aries, yeah, as in Aries stellium, you're a person who has an ability to, I want to use the term burn through reality, and this can be like see through bullshit when it comes, but also pierce through the veil of illusion. You feel me? Yeah, like Aries also rules the head. You feel me? So that's why it's a mental sign. It rules the head, and it rules like the brain, the neocortex, but then like the base of the brain, that's ruled by Taurus. That's another story though. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, it rules the brain, Aries. All right, so with you having your Venus also in Aries in the ninth house, so first and foremost, Venus doesn't really like being in Aries. You feel me? So both your feminine planets, the Moon and Venus, are debilitated. You feel what I'm saying? And so with you being a woman who has her Moon and her Venus debilitated, you find that you struggle with masculine, my bad, feminine energy. You feel me? You are a more masculine woman. You feel me? Yeah, you know, and it's not like you're not all the way masculine, because like with the Venus, oh, like okay, but like with the Venus being in not the Venus, but like the Moon, my bad, not the Moon, but like the ascendant being in Cancer, this does feminize you, and it does give you feminine attributes and qualities, but it's like for the most part though, you are more inward in your masculine energy. And I'm not trying to like, because we live in a society, you feel me, where people don't understand this information and they don't dive deep like this. So it's like they don't realize that you operate according to your energy. You don't operate, you feel me, it's not you wear the shoe that fits you, right? Like you don't try to wear a shoe that doesn't fit you, that society wants you to fit. But yeah, you know, like that's just how it is. And like me, for example, not that this reading is about me, but just to make an example, like I'm a man, right? But I am pretty like attuned to my feminine attributes and qualities as well. You feel me? So for me, you know, being a man and everything like that, I am aware that I need to tap into like my masculine energies and have masculine traits and qualities. You feel me? But it's like I don't deny or refuse my feminine aspects. I understand how they are beneficial to me. You feel me? And I feel like you would benefit from that channel as well. Like not neglecting the masculine attributes and qualities you have, embracing them, of course, but also being aware that as a woman, like it's on you to work extra hard to cultivate that feminine energy. You feel what I'm saying? And that's just my advice. You feel me? You do as you please. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, so more masculine than feminine energy. So cultivating feminine energy would be beneficial. You feel me? Yeah. Okay. So Venus and Aries individuals are like. So let's talk about what Venus is. Venus is the planet that deals with like the relationships, the social life. It deals with like just the social life in general, relating with others, friendships, but ultimately how you relate with other people. That's what Venus is, the social planet. So Venus in Aries, right? When Venus goes into Aries, these are individuals, women even, right, who aren't afraid to like make the first move. You feel me? Like they will approach a dude and start talking to him, like because Aries is a masculine sign. You feel me? It's a direct sign. It's a head-driven sign. You feel me? It's not afraid. It doesn't like self-confidence or anything like that. Aries. So yeah, that's Aries for you. But anyways, yeah, with the Venus and Aries, that's how that energy plays out, as an individual who isn't afraid to go out and get what they want when it comes to the realm of relationships. And so thus you can even be a domineering partner. You feel me? You may enjoy like being in control of the situationship, of the relationship. You feel me? And so Venus and Aries individuals also love attention. You feel me? They love being like pampered and put on a pedestal and taken care of. You feel me? And of course, like Aries goes hard for the people it loves. You feel me? So it's like once you find yourself in a relationship with another individual, then there's this strong like this strong like loyalty and commitment, and like this, I want to say possessiveness even. You feel me? Because like both Aries and Taurus, you feel me? Because Taurus more deals with possessiveness, but Aries is a sign that deals with the self, the I, the me, you know. So a lot of the times what happens here is Venus and Aries individuals don't see others as separate from them, you feel me? But they see the partner as a part of them, if that makes sense, as an extension of them, you feel me? Okay, so also with Venus, like Venus and Aries here, like it's obvious that you're a type of woman who's like not afraid to get her hands dirty. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, like you probably naturally find yourself being more inclined towards hanging out with like the masculine party. You feel me? And not being so down with the woman shenanigans. You feel what I'm saying? You're right, because like a lot of women don't like hanging out with women because women are too emotional for them, dramatic or whatever. You feel me? And this is very much like your energy, it seems. But yeah, so with the Venus and Aries, you probably attract feminine men as well. You feel me? Like in this, like me, right? Like I said, I'm a man, but I have feminine energy within me as well. So, and even within my chart, yeah, it's interesting. Like in my chart, I have a shit ton of Gemini energy, but Gemini is like a masculine sign. But I feel like it expresses, because Gemini is a sign of duality. You know, it's both the feminine and the masculine. So that's a whole nother story for me. But yeah, you feel me? But I tend to attract like women who are more in their masculine energy. You feel what I'm saying? And for you, it's vice versa, and you tend to attract men that are more in their feminine energy. My bad. Yeah, in their feminine energy. Okay, so Yeah, I would say that pretty much includes the Venus and Aries. Very daring individuals, you know. But like with you having Venus in the ninth house, you're an individual who likes to get into a relationship um, for a higher purpose and a higher reason and a higher calling. You feel me? Like because the ninth house is that house, right? We keep talking about it, so I think by now you know what the house is. But also like Aries. What about Aries? Hmm. Yeah, right. Aries, right? Aries is a sign that we'll say a short memory span. You feel me? They just enjoy stimulation. I think at the end of the day is what it is. So with Venus and Aries here, um, this can be one night stands. You feel me? Things that don't relationships that don't last long, but they're like a fling for fun. Like Aries, right? We talked about Aries being ruled by Mars, and so Mars is a planet. It's known for its association with war, but it's also a planet associated with like sex and like the animalistic natures of humanity. You feel me? Those aspects of us, and so like yeah. Thus, naturally with Aries, with you being an Aries, you know, you have a high libido, right? A high sex drive, um, but just high energy in general. Like for God's sake, you have it in the deacon of activity. You feel what I'm saying? And so, high activity, and it's important for you to find channels to, for you to find channels for that energy. You feel what I'm saying? And so I also guess I want to say this, like, so the truth is, some people naturally would just benefit more from having like a partner and like like sex being a regular thing for them, but then other people are better off not having sex like that. You feel me? And this is an astrology thing as well. You feel what I'm saying? And so like with your composition, like sex would be one of those things that would benefit you because it'll be a assistance on releasing energy. You feel me? It'll help you release or transmute energy. It's also like, I know that women, because of their like ovaries, you feel what I'm saying, and like their sex organs, internal sex organs, because of what women have going on, you feel me, they tend to generate more energy than men, and this energy, you know, portrays a lot of the times as like emotional intensity. You feel me? Emotional friction, if that makes sense. But yeah, you know, so that's definitely a real thing, because a woman, right, has an ability to generate life within her, right, a whole other human being. And so having an ability to do that also comes with a vessel that's a powerhouse. You feel me? And Aries, especially, like Aries is already the sign of activity. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, it's important for you to find outlets to channel that energy which you have. Otherwise, it will express through Mars, because that's what Aries is, Mars. And Mars is like aggression, violence, you feel me? Things like that. So, but yeah, I wanted to throw that in there as well. You feel me? Things like getting into like, even like working out maybe, or like music. I don't know if you're into music, but any channel which deals with intense emotions, you know. I feel like music at the highest level is you're dealing with intense emotions. Exercising, you're dealing with intense emotions. Sports, right? Intense emotions. Sex, intense emotions. You feel what I'm saying? X, Y, and Z. But yeah, so that's like your Venus. That's your Venus in the ninth house. You feel me? Now we're gonna talk about Jupiter. You feel what I'm saying? My bad. We're gonna talk about Mars. Okay. So you have your Mars in Leo. My bad. In Gemini. Yeah, you have your Mars in Gemini, and Mars is in Gemini in the 11th house. Okay, interesting. So, and by the way, Venus was also in the decan of activity. You feel me? So with Venus also being here in the decan of activity, it's an indication that there's a lot of activity manifested within the department of life that deals with your relation with others. You feel me? So yeah, that's all. It's not that complicated. Like that's what it pretty much is. Like Aries, the sign of activity. Venus, the sign, the planet that deals with the social life. So put this together, right? And it's in the ninth house. So with Venus being in the ninth house, it's an indication that a lot of the people you prefer to associate and hang out with, but also a lot of people that you attract are Jupiterian like. And this can be like the ninth house philosophical. So this can be like people that are teachers, but it can also be people that are like generous. You feel me? People that are professionals. These are all ruled by the Jupiter energy. But I guess the ninth house more deals with like philosophical people, religious people, spiritual people, people that yeah, it even deals with like advertising. So advertisers, I guess, marketers. But like people like me, for example, I'm a ninth house individual. You feel me? So yeah, that's more of your crowd. These are the individuals you like to associate more with. People that are on a higher frequency. You feel me? But yeah, okay. But it's like you have that moon, like the moon in Capricorn. You're probably a solo dolo individual. You like your peace. You like to be by yourself. But this is a good segue into the Mars and Gemini. So you have Mars and Gemini in the decan of fidelity. You feel me? And this is the decan of Gemini that deals with friendship. You feel me? Yeah, it deals with friendship. So this is the decan of Gemini that's sub-ruled by the planet Venus and associated with Libra. So this is Gemini Libra energy. You feel what I'm saying? So this is the decan of Gemini that deals with the friendships. And so if you know anything about Gemini in the stars is signified by the twins, right? I forget their names. And so these twins, these brothers, they also signify great friendship. You feel me? And so the first decan of Gemini is the decan of intuition. The last decan of Gemini is the decan of reason. But in the middle, which you have your Mars in, is the Gemini decan that deals with friendships, being loyal to friends and things like that. So with your Mars being in Gemini in the 11th house, a lot of your motives are inspired by people. You feel me? Your motives and your ambitions are inspired by people and by like your friendships, even. You feel what I'm saying? And like because this decan, right, of Gemini deals with like being like a loyal friend type energy, being a loyal friend, or being loyal to like an idea or a belief. You feel me? Or hope. And I bring up hope because the 11th house is a house that does deal with hopes and inspirations and wishes. You feel me? So with your Mars being in the 11th house, you're also a hopeful person, a sort of individual who is like driven and motivated by dreams. You feel me? By her hopes, by her faith, things like that. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, but also the 11th house is a house that deals with networking and connecting with people. You feel me? So yeah, you're probably very motivated in that department as well. You feel me? To like, yeah, in the department dealing with others, like there's a lot of more ambitious energy and aggressive energy. You feel me? And so let's go back to like Mars and Gemini. So Gemini is a sign. You feel me? It's mutable air. It deals with it's a productive sign. Fortunately, you feel me? It likes to produce. It's a productive sign. That's good that it likes to produce. It's being fixed. My bad. Being mutable air. It is unreliable though. You feel me? It's always changeable. And so, as we discussed, Mars is the planet that deals with ambitions, how one executes. You feel me? Motivation and things like that. So, for you, your motivations may be changed. Probably are always changing. You feel what I'm saying? Always changing. Or not even that. Not that your motivations are always changing, but like with Mars and Gemini, like these are individuals that are more motivated with intangible things than tangible things. You feel me? Because Gemini is an intangible sign that deals with the mind. It's an air sign, so that already lets you know it's intangible. You feel me? So yeah, like you're probably more so motivated by like ideas. You feel me? Thoughts, information, like education, things that you learn. You feel what I'm saying? So with Mars and Gemini here, it's important that you accumulate information before you do things, you know. Maybe have a conversation with the person before you do something, you feel me? But yeah, like ultimately with Mars in Gemini here in 11th house, your best source of motivation is people, you feel me? And others, and like your hopes and your network. And so when I say people, I mean like with this energy here, it shows me that you work with people, you feel me? That's the field that you're in, working with other people, you feel me? But um okay. And so Gemini is a more friendly sign, you feel me? It's a sign that although, okay, so I said it's friendly, so it's a sign that although it's not friendly like Libra, because Libra deals with personal relationships, Gemini more deals with friendships, you know, siblings, neighbors, you know, not acquaintances, but neighbors. Yeah, I feel like neighbors is the best way to put it. You know, like your neighbors, right? A lot of the times we don't know our neighbors, but we're friendly with our neighbors. That's the Gemini energy, you feel me? And so this means that there's just a motivation within people and associating and connecting with people. You feel what I'm saying? Associating and connecting with people. Hold on, let me look at, because I know that you also have your Mars. My bad, not your Mars. Yeah, your Mars. You also have okay, your Sun. No, not your Sun. Hold on. Yeah, you also have Jupiter. Jupiter is in Gemini as well, but they're far apart from each other and not really. Yeah, you know, there is this great motivation in the sense of like purpose, even when it comes to the people and helping them, I guess, not working with them. But yeah, so I feel like there's no more to say but that. Yeah, like 11th house, Gemini, Mars are people that are motivated by like people, and what I mean by this is like completing projects for people, you feel me? Doing things for people, things like that. But if we're to get in more into the Mars energy, so my bad, into the Gemini energy. So Gemini is a sign that deals with changeability and adaptability, you feel me? So the good thing is you're a sort of person who can adapt to the changes that come, you feel me? And it's like if you're doing something, you're working on something, and boom, shit changes, you're an individual who will adapt, you feel me? Like you're flexible like that, you feel me? That's the Gemini energy. But then Gemini is always changing, you feel me? That's the negative attribute of Gemini. It's changeability, you feel what I'm saying? So like with that being said, sometimes like, because Gemini can be a procrastinative sign as well, in the sense that because it's very mental and it's in the head, a Gemini will sit around and just think and think and think and think and think, but they think that thinking is doing something, you feel what I'm saying? But it's not. It is, but it's not. It is, but it's not. It's like if you're thinking constructively, you feel what I mean? Meaning that you're paying attention to your thoughts and you're directing your thoughts towards a desired outcome. So let's say you have a chore to do. You have to clean up the bathroom, but you don't want to do it. You feel me? So instead of entertaining the thoughts of why you don't want to do it, you start to entertain the thoughts of the benefits of doing it and why you would value from doing it. And so this, right, it tunes your thoughts to a channel which then tune your nervous system to a channel which then tunes your actions to what you want to do. You feel what I'm saying? If that made sense, like you think about it enough and then you start wanting to do it, is what I'm trying to say. So in that sense, thinking is doing something, but for the most part, Gemini can be very random in its thinking. You feel what I'm saying? And so for you, this is like actions, not thinking. So you can be sometimes like all over the place with your actions, like doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of that, a little bit of that. Like that's a negative attribute of the Gemini sign as well. And it is associated with its changeability. Like both Aries and Gemini are short impulsed, you feel me? And they like stimulation and they like a change. Like they don't want to do something for too long, you feel me? So thus, this can manifest as doing a little bit of that, a little bit of that, a little bit of that, you feel me? But instead of changing the whole thing that you're doing, you feel me? Like, for example, me, right? I'm Gemini as hell, you feel what I'm saying? So like sometimes I have to do a reading, but I don't want to do the reading, right? So instead of just not doing the reading and doing something else, changing the activity completely, I change like the setting, you feel me? Like maybe go somewhere and change the setting in which I'm recording, you feel me? Or like maybe like burn some sage, like just change the ritual, the usual ritual, you feel me? So I feel like that's a good way to balance and harmonize that desire to want to do different things. It's to do the same thing but in a different way, you feel me? If that makes sense. But yeah, so that's like that. Mars in the 11th house. So now Jupiter in the 11th house. So Jupiter is a planet that deals with expansion, right? Jupiter is the planet that deals with generosity. It's we talked about it earlier, and we talked about how the 9th house is ruled by Jupiter, and thus Jupiter is the planet of religion. It deals with the higher callings. It deals with God, you feel me? Like energy of God, this idea that there's a higher power, you feel what I'm saying? And so with you having Jupiter and Gemini, first and foremost, with you having the Jupiter and Gemini in the 11th house, you have voices in your head. But then Aries, but then Aries also, and when I say voices in your head, you feel me? What I mean by this is like, you're more tuned into your soul, you feel me? And like your soul has its own environment, and there's like spirits and entities that your soul is dealing with, you feel me? And like, yeah, some of these things have physical expression. So it's like, if your soul is dealing with someone spiritually, then they'll manifest physically as well, because that's just their counterpart. But then, you know, there's other spirits and entities that don't have physical counterparts, but they just have astral counterparts. And yeah, your soul is interacting with them. But yeah, so like the first signs, like Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer, these are all very tapped into the spirit realm signs, you feel me? Because they're close to that boundary, you feel me? Like before them, it was only the spirit realm, and then they manifested, and they were the first, and then and so that's why the first signs are like very spiritual, but then the last 4 signs can fall into like becoming unspiritual because they're so worldly, you feel me? Like Sagittarius, Capricorn, Pisces, and Aquarius can become worldly, you feel me? Even though Pisces, Sagittarius are Jupiter energy, so they're naturally spiritual, but like they can be overcome by the worldly energies. But the Gemini energy, the Aries energy, you feel me, the Cancer and the Taurus energy, these are more inward energies that are tuned into the spirit plane. And so thus, first and foremost, with Jupiter being in Gemini here, like studying becomes of importance, you feel me, in the sense that Jupiter also helps us understand how we receive guidance, you feel me? And so for you, like, opening up a book is a great way to receive guidance, you feel me? Opening up a book and reading, you feel me, and accumulating information from that standpoint would be great. But journaling, writing even, because Gemini is a sign at its highest level, you feel me, that deals with like being a conduit for like the soul, ultimately, you feel me? It deals with channeling. And so evolved Geminis have this naturally have this ability, you feel what I'm saying, to like, yeah, they naturally have this ability, you feel what I'm saying, to like channel information and all that good stuff, if that makes sense. And this, like, because I have my Jupiter in Gemini as well, so I'm familiar with this energy, you feel me? Like, another way for me, right, that I do what I do to like receive guidance is like, I'll make videos, for example, you feel me? And then I'll rewatch the videos, and this is because I have an awareness that I'm channeling, you feel me? Like, it's not all just me, but certain information I'm channeling, you feel me? So it's like, yeah, as a Gemini, that's the attribute. Jupiter and Gemini energy, channeling becomes important, prominent, you know, because Jupiter also expands the qualities and attributes, and it expands them positively. So Gemini deals with writing, it deals with intellect, it deals with communication, it deals with communication beyond the physical world, you feel me? So communicating between the worlds. Like, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury was the Roman god, the messenger god, you know, he was the god, he was the messenger of the gods, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's very much the Jupiter energy. So yeah, people with their Jupiter and Gemini naturally are probably have a natural ability to communicate. You feel me? A natural ability to deal with people. You feel me? Very express, communicative. So that's all it is. It's just communication, because that's what Gemini deals with. It deals with communication. It deals with thoughts. Logic, rationality, all those things. So for you, those aspects are expanded, and especially the department of life, not the department of life, but that ability to tap into the inner world, because Gemini rules the mind as well. You feel me? And Gemini deals with like the seen and the unseen, the day and the night, because it's a sign that deals with duality. You feel me? But yeah. So that's pretty much the Jupiter 11th house energy. And so also with you having that Jupiter in the 11th house, like you probably are a person who's well connected. Fame, like popularity may follow you. You feel me? Even as a child, you're probably just known. You feel me? Because like I said earlier, Jupiter expands things, and with Jupiter being in your 11th house, the house that deals with networking and connecting with people and things like that. You feel me? This house is also associated with Aquarius, by the way. It's an indication that that department of life is also expanded. The ability to network and connect and attract people expanded. You feel me? But alright, so to conclude this reading, we are going to be talking about your Saturn. You know what I'm saying? And so you have Saturn. Where is Saturn? So you have Saturn in Capricorn. Wait. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have some shit to talk about later. Anyway, so Saturn and Capricorn in the 6th house. Well, and it's also in the decan of, if I'm not mistaken, it's in the decan of, where is it? Organization. Okay, yeah, so Saturn is in the decan of, hold on. It's in the martyrdom decan. You feel me? And this is the Cygnus. Yeah, this is the Cygnus constellation within the Capricorn constellation, within the decan that deals with martyrs. You feel me? And being a martyr. All right. So first and foremost, Saturn. So we talked about Jupiter and how that's like the planet of expansion and all that good stuff, right? Now, when it comes to Saturn, Saturn is the opposite. You feel me? Saturn deals with like restriction, limitation. Ultimately restrictions and limitations. Saturn is a planet that's associated with karma. You feel me? Saturn is a planet that's associated with like, it also deals with like fear and doubt, but that's because it rules over our desire for like self-preservation. You feel what I'm saying? Saturn deals with both self-preservation, but race preservation, like our desire to want to preserve the race. You feel me? Is a Saturnian thing, but also our desire to want to preserve ourselves is a Saturnian thing. And this is because Saturn rules the body. You feel what I'm saying? And Saturn also rules the physical world which we exist in, and it also rules the time. You feel what I'm saying? All these other different things. But anyways, so yeah, that's what Saturn is. Like, the best way to explain it, I've been talking about restriction, you feel me? But the best way to explain it is like, we know that Saturn rules the body, for example, right? And we know that the body is not our zenith, but it's our, it's not our ultimate, right? But it's our zenith, right, I should say. Yeah, it's not our ultimate, but it's our zenith, you feel me? It's our limitation. And so Saturn rules the body. So that's what Saturn is, your limitations, your restrictions. Okay, but at the same time, Saturn does also deal with like structure, you feel me, groundedness, systemization. And the way that this plays out is like Saturn makes a department of your life, because it deals with poverty as well. It makes a department of your life so impoverished, you feel me, that you cannot ignore it. Like Saturn also deals with illness. It brings illness. You feel me? And so it brings this illness, and you cannot ignore it. And so then you have to deal with the illness if you want stability. Like Saturn, you feel me? So Saturn teaches you lessons through life, well, through hardship. So yeah, you feel me? Like with you having like your Saturn in the 6th house, like whatchamacallit becomes of importance. Health becomes of importance. Because Saturn is the planet of illness, and you have Saturn in the 6th house, the house of illness. So, yeah, illness becomes of something that like you have to learn how to work through and heal. You feel me? Like I have another client that I've been working with, cause yeah. Cause I also do like, I have clients that I work with one-on-one, you feel me? And like me and her, we've been working for like the last 3 years now together. And yeah, like she has some Capricorn placements as well. And she's older now, you feel me? But in her younger days, she went through all types of like health illnesses, you feel me? And this is just the affliction of Saturn. But now she is like a healer, you feel me? Like she helps people heal themselves, but it's because she went through that darkness herself, you feel me? So what Saturn does is it takes away things from you, and then it makes you work for them. And it's like, because it's making you work so hard for them, and diamonds are formed under pressure, because it's giving you that pressure, you know. Pearls are formed under pain. Pearls are formed through pain, you know, because it's supplying that pressure and pain, that heat, you feel me? Then like in a sense you crystallize, you feel what I'm saying? And you rise to the occasion. So it's like with Saturn being in Capricorn, but your moon being in Capricorn as well, you feel me? Like this, you are a naturally Saturnian person, and what this means is you're a naturally grounded person. You understand this world to an, yeah, not even to an extent. You understand this world that we live in, you feel me? You understand that it's cold, you understand that there's systems here, you feel me? The rules and the laws, and you may even have an awareness of how a world is built, you feel me? Because that's Saturn as hell. Saturn deals with hierarchy and structure and things like that, you feel me? But yeah, so that's primarily the department of life, you feel me? Where things are taken from, but then things will also be given if time, because everything that comes from Saturn is brought forth through great perseverance, through a distance of time, you feel me? So anything that comes from Saturn isn't easily given, but it comes through continual effort and continual trying. So continual effort must be applied in the department of life. That first and foremost also deals with one's like status, and one's one's status, you feel me? And how one's business is manifested in the world, because that deals a lot with status. And if you own a business, then your status is associated with your business. And the reason why that's important is, you feel me, your business is acknowledged as an entity, or an entity, I'll leave it at that, entity. And that's because it is. And it's like, it's an entity that signifies your 10th house, you feel me? Your house that deals with your career life. And so it's like, the more you can expand it and the bigger you can get it, the more work you will have, you know, and the more work you will do, you feel me? And you are a workaholic, I guess we can say, a person who wants to work and needs to work, you feel what I'm saying? And I feel like, because I myself am balanced in this, you feel me? I know that what I'm bringing to the world is of great importance, but then like my work play is out of balance, you feel me? And I'm a type of individual who needs to learn how to like discipline myself to work more. But it's like, you're a type of individual who probably needs to learn how to discipline themselves to enjoy themselves and play a little bit, you feel what I'm saying? But for the most part, with the Saturn and Capricorn in the 6th house, this is like building an organization, or building a strong organization, you feel me? Or strong work flow, you feel what I'm saying? Where it's like, work no longer is of importance, you feel me? But like, Capricorn deals with the corporate ladder as well, and it's the GOAT, right? The mountain climber, the goat that climbs the mountains. So you're an individual that probably had to start from the bottom and corporate and get to the top. And maybe even health speaking, you probably had to start at the bottom and get to the top. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, so with this deacon, the deacon of martyrdom, you feel me? This is a deacon where a lot of the times it's like, well, I'll leave it at, I'll leave it at this. Like, with both the moon and Saturn being in Capricorn, like there's an indication that you were exposed to like poverty, but like maybe for not too long, but because that's what Capricorn is. It deals with restriction and hardship, but especially physical hardship and restriction. And so what best but illness or poverty, you feel me? And so yeah, it's an indication that those things manifested, and then you have to learn how to rise above, you feel what I'm saying? But yeah, I would say that pretty much concludes this portion of the reading for you. And so in the next section we'll be looking at the aspects between the planets, you feel me? Yeah, we'll actually be looking at the aspects between the planets, and we will also be looking at the houses, you feel me? So I was actually gonna do a whole separate video for the houses, but like when I think about it, we can actually look at the houses and the aspects, because the aspect deals with how planets are harmonizing with each other. But it's because the planets are in different houses. Like for example, you have like what I'm trying to say here is like a planet in the 6th house, the house of work, that's influencing a planet in the 7th house, the house of family, plays out as like the family life. My bad, the love. Yeah, I'll say let's say family. So the 4th house is the family life, and the 6th house is the work life. So a person who family, work life, like if it's a harmonious aspect, then their work life will harmoniously influence their family life. But if it's a negative aspect, then their work life will negatively influence their family life, if that makes sense. So yeah, we'll be getting into that next reading. Yeah, peace. But definitely let me know your thoughts on this reading as well. And yeah, I hope you have a beautiful day. Namaste.